Hello, Femme Forte. How are you today? Zoe here, tuning in for day 5 of Soulful Sales. So today I want to talk about how you make an impact. My live is deciding whether or not to stay live, and we're still live. So I guess it decided to stay live. I got the reconnecting circle bit. Okay, so I did my microneedling. I do that myself. I have the doctor pin. I guess it's over there, but I don't need to show you. Anyways, I did that to myself, and I get to go all the way down here. And then yesterday I did go and get Botox, and only in my forehead. And actually, she did put it right under my eye, just 2 units right under my eye, and then I did my eyelashes today. So that's what we did. I'm a little bit glowy, not really wearing makeup, just wearing some sunscreen because of the microneedling. So Friday I get my hair done. Can't wait. Saturday my nails. Okay, so that's my glow up for the week, and it's like the day before my menstrual cycle, my menstruation, I want to just call it my period, starts. Please let me know if you can relate to like the building of pressure and then the the day your period starts, it's like a release. And there's a woman who made a hilarious reel about how she feels like the week before her period, and I thought it was so funny because it's true, but she made it super hilarious. So anyways, I wonder what she's selling. I don't actually know what she's selling, but you know, she makes an impact with her audience in a very funny way. Very funny. She's hilarious. If you want to see that video, just let me know just comment video in the comments, and I will make sure to get that to you because I want you to see it. So, you know, we've talked about your innovation, self-expression, showing up consistently, like really being full throttle in your business and your sales, and confidence and your personal power. That was yesterday. And today we're talking about just making an impact with your sales. So I remember from the get-go of starting my business in 2020 that I was super relentless about sharing my life. And I attracted a lot of people that resonated with my story that way. So I was very revealing. I was very revealing about my life. And, you know, I've written poetry, I've written stories, I've written just, you know, blog posts about my life experiences and kind of what I've learned from those different things. So some of my most impactful sharing has been around, I'm just going to tell you the few things. So obviously my struggle with money was my whole life up until I was 31 years old. I'm 38, and not that I don't have struggles with money, but money's super much more easier now. But anyways, so I've shared about my whole journey with money, how I used to feel so ashamed, there was several moments, but there was several moments in the transformation, which is one time I was in a leading training program and I was doing my very first mock of leading an introduction to the Landmark Forum. And so I was using a script, I was leading to people, I was being scored on that day, and therefore the person who is scoring me could interrupt me and, coach me through the process while I was leading to these people who have already done this program. And I remember during the middle of leading, he interrupted me and I got stopped for some reason. I'm not sure why. I don't remember. This was in 2018. And he said, Zoe, do you think you're worthy? And I remember just like it sparked something in me because I felt like it was true and nobody had really said that to me. And so it was a moment where I got to be seen by everybody and seen for like a story that I've made up. And it was one of those moments I cried and cried and cried for like 30 minutes. Like this leading was completely stopped. And by the way, I did pass, but what happened after that was I broke through. Like I was having a breakdown, but I broke through and I saw for the first time that I would act and take action in a certain way because I didn't think I was worthy. So for example, I wouldn't apply to jobs that I had to like make a big effort to apply to. And I could see, like, it was like everything flashed before my eyes. I saw the impact was I really didn't get jobs that paid me super well. I just got jobs that I knew I could get without having to really work hard. So from that day, I said, I'm going to double my income. 2 months later, I did. I ended up being the finance manager. Like I got a job as a finance manager and I was like, okay, this must be God-given because why me? And again, I don't remember how long, but it was probably around 6 months in or 4 months, 5 months into working at that position as a program manager, and also finance manager, that I had another breakthrough because the thing is I doubled my income, but I was still living paycheck to paycheck. And so, I had a breakthrough one night and I've shared this many times. I'm looking at my budget with this person and he turns to me and he says, how much money is in your bank account or in your savings? And we're making a budget. And I said, nothing. And the way he looked at me, I had shame just run through my body. The way he looked at me and the way he was like, really? And his surprise. And I remember the moment I saw the shame, but I stopped and I just noticed it. And I was like, that's not really who I am. Like I literally stopped the story in the tracks in that moment. And that was my turning point where I became powerful with money for the first time. And I knew it just because I didn't allow the shame to stop me. But for the previous years, I remember in early 2018, so this was 2019, but in early 2018, I remember multiple times attempting to look at my finances and I would write everything down and then I would say, okay, here's my expenses and it always was more expenses and less income. And so I felt so ashamed, so embarrassed, and then I would just avoid. And so that's what I did up until this moment. Like it was a life-changing moment. And the reason this happened was because of I was working at a personal professional development company. I was a finance manager, program manager at this company. And so I was in the transformational coaching industry, experiencing this transformational work at the time. So I had been building my awareness around how to see the stories that I've made up and interrupting them. So that's what happened in that moment. And that night I drove home and I was bittersweet. Like, I was super happy and so excited for what was to come. And also I felt sad because I knew that I had crossed over to the other side. And I felt sad because it felt like I was leaving my family behind. Like, it felt like I was leaving people behind because I was now over this fence where I had never been before. So watch out for that, because, you might feel like you're leaving people behind, or you're going to lose friendships, or you're going to lose family if you such and such make more money or get a job making more money, whatever that is. So watch out for that one, because that one will pull you back down. But I just allowed myself to be with that in that moment. And I just noticed it. But I knew that that was the moment that totally transformed everything. Well, the second moment that totally transformed everything. And there was probably more moments than that as well. There was another moment actually after I started my business where I was launching and I wasn't making the sales that I wanted to make. And I ended up signing up for an NLP program. And I did that because I had the money coaching, I had the processes, but I wanted something more that would help me get my clients to actually heal the subconscious blocks and just totally catapult them into success. So I wanted these tools. I wanted these actual tools that were going to help. And I had tools, like I said, but they were more like they brought everything to the surface, and then what? And that's great. Like, those tools are great, and I utilize those in Rich Girl School. But anyway, so part of me becoming an NLP coach, I was using the program itself. So one of the practitioners teaching me did one of these prime concerns on me. And it was like, I was at the verge of, like, I could feel it. I could feel like I was about to make so much money, and it just wasn't happening. And I was launching, and even when I failed, it wasn't really a failure, but even when I didn't earn the money that I wanted to earn or sign up as many clients as I wanted to sign up, I could feel it. Like, I could feel that it was there. I was on the precipice of something big. And so I ended up like talking to her, and she did this tool with me called the prime concern. And what it actually was related to was the relationship with my father. And so I wish that I could remember exactly what it was about and what she did exactly. But, I know what she did exactly, but I don't remember exactly the belief it was. But it was around allowing love and money in, okay? And so she did this prime concern where she basically takes my words and scrambles them up, and then it just becomes this most ridiculous thing where it's like your conscious mind is like, why would I believe that sort of ridiculous thing? And from that moment on, I started having 10K launches. Okay, really, $10,000 launches. And every time I would have $10,000 launches and more. And that was another like super impactful moment. And that specific tool and that program, so I became an NLP practitioner, actually had me say yes to their year-long program where I became a master practitioner of NLP. And so I've utilized these tools with many women who have gone on to earn 50% or more income. They've attracted spouses. They've gotten married. I literally over doubled their income. And some people who haven't dated now have started to date many people have attractive partners and, you know, bonus checks and cash and all sorts of different ways that they're manifesting money or transforming their life. I had a client who literally manifested being able to buy a house in such a simple way, and that happened when she did a one-on-one with me. So, okay, so why am I telling all of these stories? So the point is that when you're selling, you want to share and open up and share about your life. And I could share even more, you know. While I was working at this personal professional development company, actually right before that I started working there, I was in what they call the advanced course. And I discover what's my act, like how do I act in life? And my act is I act powerless. So when I'm not being in my power, I act powerless. And there's lots of ways that shows up. And I discovered that on the morning that I decided to just drive to my father's house and show up and meet him. Because for my whole life, I wondered who this man was. And I thought he didn't love me. And he paid child support. Okay, this is important for you to know too. He paid child support until I was 18, but I never met the man. I sent him a letter when I was 9. And so I really just thought he didn't love me. And so I show up at his house. I wait like 2-3 hours and he finally comes home. By the way, I am with like 3 other people, one of them being my brother, his son, who is a twin. And he said, I'll go with you. He was like 16 years old. Maybe younger. I don't remember, but I know he was in high school. So he's technically my brother too. I have twins in the family. So I shared this with him when I saw him for the first time. You know, he pulls up in the car. I'm like parked my car on the side of the road leading up to his house, and like I see him, he's driving, he stops. This is my father. And he says hello, and I said, hey. I was like, I'm Linnea. And he knew who I was, obviously. And he invited me and everybody else that was with me into the house, and he made tea and food, and we talked, and it was quite amazing. It was nerve-wracking, but you know, the man wasn't going to meet me. He wasn't going to talk to me, and that's okay. It's just that was something that I needed to meet this person. Now, we ended up talking for the next year, I don't know, maybe longer, until some fallouts happened due to some of the ways he treated okay, I was pausing there for a second because it looks like it was reconnecting, but we're still live. So regardless of what he's done to my sisters, I can take a view from up above and realize that he's pretty much like every other human. You know, he's afraid, he's scared, sad, and lonely, and whatever else. And, you know, I do wholeheartedly believe and look forward to the day when he does take responsibility for his actions. However, and I choose not to speak to him, and he doesn't want to speak to me anyways, because I have been a catalyst in his family and in the loop of the children that he's had, that caused these women to come forward and report him. So of course he doesn't want to talk to me, and that's okay. And I did that because I stand for women, and I stand also for him to be free as well. He doesn't necessarily know that, but I can only imagine the suffering that a person goes through when they've caused so much pain, they've inflicted so much pain on little small children. And I'm not necessarily having sympathy for him. It's just that I see the bigger picture of healing the world, and to heal the world and to rid the world of people who rape others and sexually abuse or assault or hurt people, okay, is that you take responsibility for it. Okay, that's the only way that we're going to heal the world, is if you take responsibility for your actions, and that goes for really everybody, okay? And so it's really not that I like have sympathy. I mean, I do a little bit, but I don't know. I think I'm a little bit more neutral. Like, I have sympathy for everybody, but if I just have sympathy for women who were abused, and I just think we should lock up the abusers, which obviously I do believe that we should lock up the abusers. They need to pay their dues. They need to take responsibility, because by the law, that is taking responsibility when they pay their time for the crimes that they've committed. So I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that those people need help. They need help so that they stop abusing, because what has happened to them is the same thing that they're doing to people, because hurt people hurt people. It's just that history repeats itself. So I'm taking the bigger, top down view of this situation. And so now you can see that I'm just like sharing my whole life story and all of this stuff. And I'm over here, like, I've experienced this stuff and had these people in my life, sort of. My mom was really great for leaving this man, but I'm here helping the women who have experienced stuff like this, who feel trapped in a life of shame and guilt and lack of power, lack of self-expression. That's why I'm here. That happened to me not in vain. The things that had happened to me, because that's another thing, that I was assaulted when I was 12, and never ever would I be talking about it on a live unless I had become free from what had happened. And I had totally forgiven myself, forgiven that person, and really just seeing it as people hurt people, hurt people, hurt people. And that's what it is. And so it's our individual responsibility to heal and grow. And I'm here to heal and help guide, heal, grow with you, and help you heal and grow beyond where you have always felt stuck. Because I have felt stuck. That's the thing. It's like, I felt stuck up until I was like 31 years old, when I did my very first transformational program. And so then it just went from to the next step, to the next step, to the next step, to the next step. And I find that many women who have experienced trauma, and really anything, but they have issues with money, with feeling worthy about money. And it's often related to your parents, to men, and it shows up in your relationships. And I'm here to help you just rip it all apart, examine it, have awareness around it, and then create and author your very own story that you want to have. Okay. And I love to help you create a business that you love, because this is the freedom you want. So impactful sales is exactly around what I just did. So I'm sharing with you, and that sharing is a way to impact you. That is me opening myself up, being vulnerable, so that you can see me. You can see me. You can see what I've done. You can see the difference I've made with people. You can see me, my life. I'm a real person, and I'm here to impact you. I am. And that's the very truth. And I think impacting people in sales is sharing yourself. It's telling stories, okay? You're not just like, hey, buy from me. No, you're like, this is why. Like, this is what I'm standing for. you impact people by sharing your life experiences and sharing what you've overcome, what you've been through, gotten through, and where you are now after having done that. And that really impacts people when you share your successes, when you are really sharing your experiences and where you've gotten to now. So where am I now after 2018? I was still like living paycheck to paycheck. I literally had to pay money to get out of my lease because I was in a too expensive luxury apartment. And it was crazy sauce, but I literally had to rearrange my life in all of 2018. Like, it literally fell apart even worse than it already was, but I didn't know what was coming. Okay? Because what was coming was doubled my income and the business that I wanted. It was 2018 that I said, I want to travel the world. And guess what? In 2018 was the first time I went to Mexico. 2021 was when I first moved to Mexico. So it can happen fast, all right? And I doubled my income. I was there for a year and a half. And then in 2020, I was finally ready. Like, I wanted, and let me tell you, like, I planned. So I was at this job and I was like, I want my business. I want my coaching business. And this job, I loved this job. I was working full time. It was a coaching communication company, personal and professional development. You've all heard me talk about it probably many times. I still participate in their programs, like literally all the time. I'm in 2 programs right now. And I was working there and I put in like an 8-month notice. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I wanted it so bad. And I finally felt like I was performing, I was causing results, and I was ready. I felt confident to step out into building my own business. And even though I didn't know how it was going to happen, I was like, how am I going to fund this? I need to start saving money. And I was doing that, and I was paying off debt. And then the pandemic happened. And it was my opportunity. And I had money coming in, okay? Everybody who lost their jobs had money coming in. And there was a huge boom, I think, in online business, and I ran with it. And so in 2020, I started with Beachbody because I loved fitness. So I started like that because I had no clue about anything on social media, literally, like nothing. So my way in was through Beachbody. And then I also, at that same time, was getting certified as a money coach because that was what I chose. I was like, that's what it is. That's the transformation that I've had. So, by November, December of 2020, I was ready and I was getting my launch ready, and I did it right at the beginning of January 2021. And, I was successful. I had like over 100 people sign up for my free event. I had 16 people there on my live every single day. And yeah, nobody bought from me. And then like a week later, somebody signed up for a one-on-one with me. Even before my launch, I had somebody reach out to me. We did a one-on-one from Canada, and I did a couple one-on-ones with some people who I knew from, one person from Landmark. One was my previous yoga teacher. We did some one-on-one money coaching. So I started to collect testimonials and people who were having transformations. And I'm just now going on this tangent, and who knows when it will end. Just kidding. But yeah, I'm just talking about how fast everything moved when I just jumped in. Okay. I went pedal to the metal. I went full throttle, and I did not stop until I basically took a sabbatical, which ended now several months ago. And I'm pedal to the metal again, which now brings me to the 6-week activation. If you would like to join me in the 6-week activation, this is only $33, and you are going to experience being activated to fully just step into your innovative self, your leader self who trusts and coaches yourself. You're going to go all in. Okay. We're going to have weekly kind of challenges, but really I'm calling it an activation because I'm going to activate your full throttle. Like, you're going to go all in on what you want to create, who you want to impact, okay? And your self-expression, your confidence, your creativity, and you get to say how it goes, just like I'm saying how it goes. I'm creating content and I'm saying how my business goes, okay? And I want that for you too, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do inside Queen, the 6-week activation, is the quantum time release. And what that is going to do is it's a subconscious block clearing workshop. And what that's going to do is free you up to go take action so that you can actually take the action that we're talking about taking, and the embodiment that we're talking about you embodying. You're going to be able to do that because you're going to clear out limiting beliefs and negative emotions that keep you feeling heavy and stuck and, insecure. We're going to clear that out, and you're going to be feeling hot and ready. So look, I hope that you got a little bit of a taste of impacting people through your sales. It was really refreshing for me to share a lot of this. So thank you. And, I'm always open to sharing more and more, and, I love y'all. I can't wait to see you inside the 6-week activation. The link is here. It's $33. You just can't get any better than that. I am all about deliver for even the smallest price. Okay. And look, it's not that I'm like, I just want people to be able to come in and get like the best thing ever. And you know what? My pricing is based on my own intuition. What is it that I want to charge? And I'm teaching that too. Okay. If you have questions about that, because the 6-week activation, you get unlimited questions. Like, you have access to me, through the Facebook group, and we're building and we're growing together. So I love you. This is my last words. These are my last words, and I'll see you soon. Bye, loves.